Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amy and I am on a financial freedom journey with my family. I share all about that and more on my channel. Another thing that I share is our monthly budgets and their corresponding monthly budget closeout or reconciliation, whatever you want to call it. Every single month we do our budget and then we also have to reconcile it at the end of the month. And that is always a really exciting time for me because it just gives me time to reflect on the month and make sure that we are spending according to our plan. Now, obviously, not always does that happen, including this month. We did go over budget in a few categories, but it's just nice to have that check-in point to be realistic with yourself. And it also gives me an opportunity to make sure that we don't need to increase any of our funds or change anything around in our budget. It kind of gives me another way of seeing like what's working, what's not working. So the budget closeout, in my opinion, is one of the most important things that you can do with your budget routine because it really gives you a perspective on if what you're doing is working, if it's not working, and all that stuff. So I like to share these videos because I want to be real with you guys, and we don't always do what we say we're going to do, right? Like, we're real people. We have 5 people in our family. There's a lot of spending going on during the month. And so it's nice, in my opinion, I really enjoy watching other people that film these videos because it's nice to see that like nobody's perfect and nobody has a perfect budget and things happen sometimes. So let's go ahead and get into February. Now, first category we're going over is our income. So we did budget $7,700 for our W-2 income. My husband and I are both salaried employees, so we both receive like the same amount every single month. So $7,700 was what we received. Now this is after taxes, insurance, any deductions like that, 401k. This is actually what hits our bank account every single month. So $7,700, and typically every single month we have some sort of side hustle income. I never account for this, and we did have $350 this month of February. So that was an additional $350 in our budget. And that leaves our total income that we were able to budget with this month at $8,050. Now, the reason I don't budget with this side hustle income is because it goes directly to whatever financial goal we're working on right now, which we are currently working on our car fund. If you want to see that in more detail, I film Debt-Free Friday videos every single Friday where I share what side hustle income we brought in for that week. And if you go back and watch all my February videos, you will see exactly what made up this $350. So let's go into our first category of expenses, which is our fixed expenses. So this is where we typically spend the most amount of money because we do have a lot of fixed expenses. Like we have, we have 5 people in our family, so there's lots going on here. So mortgage, $2,527. This is actually our last month paying this amount. If you watched my March budget with me video, you will see that our mortgage did go down. We were paying off an escrow shortage, and so now that is paid off, so that will drop off and our mortgage will go back down slightly. I think it's like $2,365 or something like that, somewhere around there, about $2,300. I'm really looking forward to a slightly lower mortgage payment because I don't know, it's always nice to save a couple $100 a month. So that will take effect March 1st. Our property taxes did go up a little bit though, so like it's not as low as I thought maybe it would be, but close enough. I'm still happy that we got a reduction in that. And then next fixed expense is our daycare. So my youngest son goes to daycare a few times a week, 3 days a week, and that is $980 for the month. And that was 12% of our income this month. He really enjoys his little preschool program and we really like having him there. It's nice to have him have like a structured day most of the week, and it's good for him. I know it is. He really enjoys it. So we're happy to spend that money, although it is painful at times because it's a lot of money. It's like almost $1,000 a month, which is crazy. Next, we have our Peloton. So $46 for our Peloton. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, I have been sharing every single day what I've been doing on Peloton. And I've been doing something every single day. I have taken a few rest days in February because I just needed some time. I didn't take any rest days in January and I just needed a little bit of a break in February. So I have been like having some strategic rest days in there, but generally I have been using it every single day. So I really feel like we're getting our use out of the membership again. There was a big chunk of last year where we probably weren't getting what we intended out of the membership, but that's okay. Life happens, and last year was a rough year. So happy that I'm back on track and in a really good routine right now. Next up is our electric and gas. We have this on budget billing right now, so it's $196. And I think that budget billing recalculates in April, so this will likely change slightly, although I think we're pretty close to spending $196 on average over the last year, so I'm happy with that. Next up is internet. We obviously have to pay for internet because we exist in this lifetime. I don't know anybody. I don't think I know anybody anymore that doesn't have internet. Do you? I don't think I do. Obviously, when I was growing up, we didn't have internet, so it's weird to me now that like it's just such a thing that you really genuinely have to have. Like I said, can't think of anybody that doesn't have internet anymore. Even my parents have internet, which it took them a lot of years to get on board with that, but even they have internet now. Brokerage, we put $100 a month into our brokerage account. This is just like some extra investing that we're doing. I almost like to call it like practice investing because it's just like a little bit extra that we're doing. And we don't really have any plans for this money. It's just kind of extra for now. And we will decide at a later time what we want to use that money down the road for. But it's, a few $1,000s. I think we have, I don't even know actually. That's a good question. We have a few $1,000s in there now. We've been adding to that here and there for years. I think I opened it up in 2021. And so we've had that for a few years, and we just wanted to get like a reoccurring amount going in there just to have that going in the background. And we also have a reoccurring donation that goes to St. Jude every single month in the amount of $100. So that was the last fixed expense. And now moving into our variable expenses, we do have $100 each that goes towards our personal spending. We've been doing that for years. It really works out well for us because it just gives us money that we're able to spend on whatever we want to spend on. No, like, we don't have to tell each other what we're spending it on. It's just kind of like whatever you want to use it for. So it's nice, like guilt-free spending that we just get to either save up or spend or do whatever we want with. I highly, highly recommend that, especially if you're married and you combine your finances. My husband and I have everything combined. We have one checking account, one savings account, like everything is mixed. So it's nice for us to have some personal spending that we can kind of do our own thing with, and just gives us like a little bit of autonomy in our otherwise combined budget. Next category is gas. We had budgeted $300. We were actually quite a bit under budget this month. I don't really know why. I feel like I definitely drove less than I normally do in February. It was like brutally cold here in the beginning of February, so we really did not go out and do a lot. So I'm gonna guess that was why. Also, I think my car probably needs a tank of gas, but I did not get it before the end of February. So we were actually under budget by $105, which is awesome. I will take it. Where we were not under budget though is our groceries. So I had budgeted $900 for groceries. I think that we probably realistically just need to increase this moving forward. I don't think I increased it for March, but we are going to be gone for a week in March. So I'm not too worried about March necessarily, but note to myself that I probably just need to increase this to $1,000 because we did spend $1,004 on groceries. So over $104 in groceries. Now, this is not like any really frivolous spending, I would say. I mean, obviously, like we do get like snack foods and like convenience foods at times, but it's really like things that we're eating. So we're not like wasting food or anything. So I don't really know a way that we could really like reduce this, honestly. Like we just spend this much on food and that's what it is. So I'll probably just increase this moving forward in April. And fun and kids, I had set aside $75 for fun and kids and we spent $51. So we were under budget slightly by $24. And miscellaneous, I had budgeted $200 and we did go over budget. We were at $268. And that's okay. Every once in a while, I feel like we're over on our miscellaneous and it's all good. Some of those things you just can't predict, like just random things that pop up in the middle of the month that like you just didn't know about or didn't think to budget for. So all good with that. And our last variable expense category is our dining out. And if you guys have been on my channel for a little bit, we did not eat out at all in January. We were completely zero spending on eating out. We did not eat out at all in January. I have done that the past 3 or 4 Januaries. It's really nice to like reset the year with no eating out. It's hard, but it definitely gets easier as the month goes on. But we knew in February we were going to go back to eating out occasionally. Now, I was hoping to be under budget here, but we did actually spend $296, which we were technically under budget by $4. But I do want to say this is also including a order that we got for the Super Bowl. So we had some family and friends over for the Super Bowl, and we ordered Jimmy John's for catering, and that was $95. So this is including that. So we really only spent $200 eating out. So I'm really happy with that. Again, obviously we catered food, so I did include that in this budget because we did not set aside money for that necessarily, and I had planned on just taking it out of our eating out budget. So I'm very, very happy with what we did in February. I feel like we ate out enough that it was like nice for us, but it wasn't too much that we felt like it was just getting out of control. So I feel like we had a really good balance in February. I'm hopeful that we will do the same in March. Obviously, we're going to be traveling in March for vacation. So we are obviously eating out like the whole week that we're on vacation, although we do cook some meals at home too, but we will be eating out during vacation. So I'm hoping to like keep it on the down low the rest of March because we're going to be doing a lot of eating out that week. So we'll see. Anyways, a lot of commentary on that one, but I was super happy with that. So I wanted to share because we struggle with eating out. Like, it is really hard for us. I love eating out. I hate cooking. My husband likes eating out and hates cooking as well. So we unfortunately married each other and did not marry somebody who loves to cook. So we have to struggle with that all the time because neither of us enjoy cooking. I do it obviously because we have to eat, but like if we could eat out a lot, I probably would. Like if we were millionaires and didn't have to worry about money, we would probably eat out a lot more. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I would eat out more. So next category, sinking funds. We have 5 sinking funds that we're currently contributing to, which are car, kids, home, vacation, Christmas. These have been the same for years. This has really, really worked for us. And yeah, it's just nice to have all these different categories set aside. I feel like it's manageable for us. It's not like a ton of categories, but it's enough that we feel like we're able to use these when we need to and we're not like constantly interrupting our budget. That's kind of how I view sinking funds personally, is that they're kind of like they prevent you from interrupting your budget. So like if we have like a large car repair, it's not going to affect our monthly budget. It's going to just affect our sinking fund. So it's kind of nice to have these in place so that like you're not constantly being interrupted. That is something that I struggled with so much before I really started budgeting in a way that made sense for me, because I felt like every single month something was coming up, like with our house or our car or our kids, like there was always something, and it would like really throw the budget off because like a lot of those expenses can be expensive. So like a car, like you could have a car repair that costs $800. And if you're budgeting with $8,000, that's a good chunk of your budget right there that goes out the window on something that you weren't expecting. So having these sinking funds is super, super helpful, especially like the car and home sinking funds. Those are probably the ones that we use the most, just because we always are having things coming up for our house or our car, just random things that we need around the house or like repairs that we want to do, etc. So yeah. I will probably bump up our home sinking fund in the future. If you guys have been on my channel for a while, you know that we bought our home. It was a new build in 2022. So we are coming up on 3 years old for our house, which is crazy to think about because I feel like we just moved in. But we will probably bump this sinking fund up in the next few years as our home starts to get older. Obviously, expenses will come up, and so we do need to prepare for that. But for now, $100 has been working. We have a pretty good buffer in there because we really haven't been spending money out of our home sinking fund too much. So we do have a pretty good buffer, but just wanted to mention that because if you do have an older home, I would probably recommend saving more than this. But yeah, our home's relatively new. We just haven't really had things coming up that frequently. Next category is vacation. So we are going on vacation in March. So we did set aside $200 to go towards our vacation sinking fund. So that'll be fun, and we will be spending out of that category a lot in March. And $100 for Christmas. This is something that we start every single year in the beginning of the year, and we save all year for Christmas. It's so nice to have this set aside and just not have to worry about it. And also, I'm like an early Christmas shopper, okay? I don't know if anybody else is with me, but like I start shopping for Christmas in like October. So I like to have this money set aside early in the year so that I can start spending it early and not have to, again, like disrupt our budget or anything. So it's nice to have this set aside. And last category is our financial goals, which we were able to put $1,500 towards our financial goals this month, and that was 18% of our budget. Now, again, we are doing other savings. Obviously, we have our brokerage account, we have our 401ks, we have an HSA. So we are doing other spending outside of this. So I'm very, very comfortable with the fact that we set aside 18%. I feel like that's really great with how much we invest and do other things. So I'm very happy with that amount. And again, we are a young family. My kids are 10, 5, and 3. And so we are in like this messy middle area of life right now. We are really like, just things are expensive for us right now, and it won't always be this way. But I'm very happy with what we're able to do every single month as far as savings, because again, we do have a lot of expenses as a young family. So recap down here for our whole budget closeout that we just did. Our total income was $8,050. Our total expenses were $8,048, and that was a difference of positive $2. Now, again, I do round off all these numbers. Obviously, we're not spending exactly $104.00 on groceries, so I do round these off, so it's not exactly $2. Whatever we have left over, we always just roll into our buffer. I like to have a buffer in our checking account. That just makes it so that we're not spending our account down to zero, and if there is ever a time where a bill comes out early or whatever, we have that money in there. So that is our recap for February. Let me know in the comments down below, how was February for you? I would love to hear about it, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.